Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar video. In this one I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the new Avatar The Last Airbender Blue Spirit Funko Pop. So it's number 1002. It is an exclusive. As you can see here, it's a special edition. There is also a chase version of this, which I had a chance to get. I didn't. I believe the main thing about that is that it's glow-in-the-dark. So I think it's the same figure, it just has glow-in-the-dark paint. And from what I can see, it looks pretty decent, but of course the Blue Spirit Zuko in this outfit isn't really known for like the mask glowing, so it's just a kind of collector thing for Funko Pops. I'm just happy to have this kind of mold basically. This is for the UK, it's a HMV exclusive, so that's where I got mine from. I can't remember off the top of my head where it's an exclusive to in America, but as you can see, it is one of the exclusives. It's not part of the wave of commons. But other than that, the only real thing to do is to open it. So let's just get in. Here we go, Blue Spirit Zuko. Very nice. It's it's a big thing to just see like a fully done face on a Funko Pop, because usually of course there's not a lot going on because of the way they do the eyes, and then the fact that most of them don't really have mouths. So it's actually interesting to see this one, like even though it is a mask done with a mouth. But it's a very accurate representation of the Dark Water Spirit mask, which is what the Blue Spirit mask actually is. And of course the significance that that actually has to Zuko as a character. Very cool, and obviously it's a very memorable kind of persona for Zuko. So there you can see here, there's where he stores the swords there. The two swords kind of come together, because as you can see there, they're kind of done with the half kind of grips on either side. And he just sort of like connects them together. They both go into the same sword holder. Head does move quite nicely, so you can do full 360 for a little bit of posing if you want. So that's good. And yeah, that's the main thing about this, is obviously that all the sort of design really has to go into the mask. Because other than that, it's just, he's wearing a mask, and then he's just got his sort of black ninja outfit with the sort of black and grey kind of outfit here. The swords and the holder are really the only other things going on here. Everything else is the sort of just stealth outfit for Zuko. So that's cool. They didn't attempt to do any sort of thing where like Zuko's like scar like comes through, you can see it from the side, which I don't really have a problem with. Just going for a good representation of the Blue Spirit mask and so on. So yeah, really cool. I'm glad they did this. It is because people would have demanded it, and it's sort of perfectly suited to be done as a Funko Pop. So really nice. And then the fact that there is that chase version is also cool if you are interested in that. So I think for the most part that's all I really have to say about the figure. It's a rather simple pop outside of the mask. So let's just end by just having a little bit of a sort of bit of a lore discussion here with Avatar about the mask, because I think a lot of people are familiar with just like the role it plays in the show, but maybe you haven't read the comics and you don't know the true significance of the mask to Zuko. Like I said, it's the Dark Water Spirit mask. The mask is used in the play in Avatar Love Amongst the Dragons. Specifically, this is actually the mask of the villainous character in it, hence Dark Water Spirit. And the idea of its significance to Zuko is, one, he's familiar with the play. He mentions in the show that the Emberana players butchered Love Amongst the Dragons. The reason he even went to it in the first place is because Ursa is a huge fan of Love Amongst the Dragons, because she used to be part of like a theater troupe, and she did a rendition of this play where she played one of the characters in it as well. So because of that, Ursa brought like Azula and Zuko to it, so that's why they're familiar with it. So they used to sort of play act the Love Amongst the Dragons. Azula would always be the hero of the play, meaning that Zuko would always be forced to portray the villain, meaning he would always lose, because that's how the play goes. The Dark Water Spirit is always defeated in the end. So that's why it's so fitting for Zuko in this form, when he's in a way at some of his kind of lowest moments, to assume this alter ego, where he's wearing a blue spirit mask. He's basically wearing a water spirit mask, not even the Fire Nation. He's not using his fire bending. He's actually using this other skill set that he has, that, you know, he typically thinks that he's inferior for like the majority of the show to Azula when it comes to fire bending. But a skill that he does have, that she doesn't seem to have, is the skill with the swords, which is something he is extremely talented at. That, like, you think, oh, Zuko's just good with swords, but no, Zuko is one of the better characters at swords. As we know from the comic Sword Bending from Lost Adventures, Zuko is so much better at using the swords than Sokka is, even though that would be more of Sokka's sort of speciality as a non-bender. Zuko's just better. Highlighting just that difference between sort of Zuko has to do hard work, determination to become as skilled as he is at firebending, but he sort of had a natural talent for swords. And so Zuko in the blue spirit form, while it's obviously representative of him feeling like he's inferior and that he has to take on this other persona and use his other skill set, is still highlighting, you know, something that he is actually quite good at. So, you know, it's sort of significant in sort of the episode where, like, it's an episode where Zuko has to save Aang from Zhao. And when Aang finds out, this is sort of a key part in their relationship, helping to again portray the idea that Zuko is the enemy to a certain degree, but he's not. It's not the same dynamic as Zhao and the overall Fire Nation. And so, you know, it all sort of comes to a head with the moment, you know, where Zuko lets Appa go. Iroh has the big conversation with Zuko about who are you, what do you want, and finally he leaves it behind and is sort of, you know, able to relatively shortly, I suppose, half a season after that, become the character that we know. So it's a very fitting kind of dynamic, and that's why the character and the blue spirit sort of turn for the character has always been so interesting to me, because in a way it represents sort of it's both sort of a more confident Zuko in some ways, but also a Zuko who is very much leaning into the idea that he is inferior in other ways. So I like the complexities around the blue spirit aspect of Zuko, and that's why, like, I do see it as more than just something Zuko dressed up as in a handful of episodes. They made it into something much more interesting, to where the mask means something. Him doing this undercover, and in the episodes he did it in, obviously, you know, you can have a basic interpretation, which is as is presented in the episodes, just wanting to be disguised as he steals food to make up for the fact that they're not living the life of luxury as royals anymore in early book 2. But the other side of it is, you know, him hiding who he is, not using his firebending and so on. So very cool. Glad to have this as a Funko Pop. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on the Blue Spirit Funko. What are your thoughts on this one? If you have or have seen the Chase one, what are your thoughts on that? And then because I suppose we had a bit of a character discussion here on the Blue Spirit, what are your thoughts on Zuko's sort of alter ego in a way here as the Blue Spirit? What do you think it did for his character? How do you like the significance from the Search comic with the Blue Spirit mask, the Dark Water Spirit? But yeah, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.